One animal can feed the whole camp or end the hunt in seconds.
A 1,200-kilogram walrus, armored in fat, rests on ice that never truly stops moving. Get too close, and tusks like ivory blades can turn a hunter into a lesson.
Listen, beneath our feet, the ocean shifts, bending and cracking the ice from below.
One clean crack can cut off the return and swallow the prize. 2,000 years ago, on the Bering Sea coast, empty pots meant hard choices. The storm line is already walking toward us, fast enough to erase tracks and courage, but the herd is out there. Meat for bodies, oil for lamps, hide for shelter. Every step is a wager. Bone tools against brute mass, breath against wind.
If we're late, the ice takes everything.
They travel the shore-fast ice like a moving village, reading ridges and open leads the way others read rivers. Caribou fur parkas trap heat. Sealskin boots bite the crust. Every seam is sinew, built for wind and salt. A scout taps the surface and listens. The sound tells him where ice is thick and where black water waits. Fog drifts in from the sea, swallowing distance. In the Arctic, what you can't see can still kill you. They angle along pressure ridges, natural walls of broken ice, using them as cover against the herd's eyes. On the snow, they lay out their kit, toggling harpoon heads of bone and ivory, stone blades, hide rope, sealskin floats. Nothing here is accidental. Lines are coiled to run clean, knots tested with numb fingers, points honed to bite and hold. From a ridge, they spot them. Dark bodies on white ice, steam of breath rising like smoke in the cold air. Most of the herd sleeps, but one bull keeps his head high, tusks heavy, shoulders thick as a boulder. They don't rush. They watch wind direction, the nearest lead, and the bull's path to water, because water is his escape. At this range, you feel the scale. A bull can weigh more than a small car, and he can move faster than you expect. They spread out, low and silent, bellies to the ice, using hummocks and drifted snow to break their outline. A lead gurgles nearby. If the bull reaches it, the ocean will take him, and the line, and the effort, and the chance. One hunter feeds out rope, another readies a float, an inflated sealskin bag meant to tire the animal if it dives. The bull lifts his head and sniffs. Whiskers twitch. The herd shifts, uneasy, as if the ice itself warned them. Now comes the decision. Commit together or retreat with empty hands back into a storm and an empty camp. They rise in one motion, harpoons up, feet planted wide, because hesitation is louder than a shout. The first harpoon flies. It isn't meant to kill, only to toggle under the hide and hold fast, like a hooked tooth. The bull erupts, roaring and sliding, throwing snow in sheets, tusks sweeping the air where a man stood a heartbeat ago. A hunter slips on polished ice. The others drag him clear, hauling by parka and rope because no one hunts alone. They drive an ice peg deep and wrap the line, turning the ground into an anchor that can resist a ton of fury. The bull surges toward the lead, belly skimming, dragging grooves through snow. The rope hisses, then snaps tight. Men lean back as one, heels dug in, shoulders burning. Rope fibers sing under tension like a living thing. A second harpoon strikes. A small stain spreads on the snow, enough to prove contact, not enough to celebrate. Up close, the walrus is pure anatomy. Thick skin, scar tissue, breath like wet smoke, eyes dark and unblinking. Then the ice answers, another crack, deeper, longer, running beneath their knees like thunder, trapped under glass. The storm arrives early. Wind turns sharp. Snow starts to fly sideways, flattening the world into grey. They work fast, cutting blubber first, because oil is light and heat, and the dark season respects neither bravery nor luck. Stone blades slice thick fat into slabs. Hands are steady, even while faces flinch at every new groan in the ice. They cut the prize into loads a human body can move, rectangles tied with hide thongs, heavy enough to bend backs. Two men heave a bundle onto a drag sled of driftwood and bone. It lands with a dull thump that feels too loud. Pink snow appears in patches, quickly dusted over by wind, proof of the cost and proof of urgency. Now the hardest part begins. Hauling. Every meter home is a fight against weight, wind, and moving ground. Under the sled, the ice flexes. Water shines up through hairline cracks, then freezes again as the wind bites. They don't run. Running breaks ice. They move with controlled steps, spreading weight, listening for the hollow note. The storm erases their tracks behind them, turning the return into a maze with no memory and no mercy. A fissure opens ahead, black water, jagged edges, wide enough to swallow a man, and the sled with him. They detour, dragging the load in a long arc. Seconds become minutes, minutes become distance. The storm keeps pushing. One bundle skids toward the lead, sliding like it wants the sea. A hunter lunges and grabs the rope with both hands. The rope snaps tight. The bundle stops inches from open water. Everyone exhales at once, then pulls again. Hands go numb. Fingers stop feeling rope and start remembering it. Muscle memory replacing sensation. Whiteout thickens. The horizon disappears. The only map is the tension of the line and the bodies ahead of you. They form a chain, rope between them, so one stumble doesn't become a disappearance into blowing snow. Somewhere behind, the ice cracks again. No one turns to look. Looking back wastes time they do not own.
This is where people die. Seconds decide, and the ice never negotiates.
At last, they reach shore-fast ice near dark rocks. Here the ground feels heavier, steadier, less alive. With stable footing, they speed up. Sled runners scraping hard, breath tearing in and out like a saw. Through the snow they see it. Camp smoke, a thin gray thread rising from skin tents, huddled against the wind. The whole community moves. Women, children, elders. Everyone comes out. Because this load is survival for all of them. Food, fuel, tools, weeks of calories in one arrival. If they can process it before cold locks it solid. Butchery begins immediately. Stone knives flash. Hide sheets catch the cuts. Steam rises from warm meat into freezing air. Nothing is wasted. Hide is scraped for rope and shelter. Bone is cleaned for points. Sinew is saved for stitching. Blubber goes to the rendering pot. Thick cubes dropped into stone cookware beside a controlled smoky fire. Slow heat separates oil from fat. Golden liquid gathers, and suddenly the tent will have light that doesn't need wood. Elders oversee the division. Portions are measured by custom. Rules that prevent greed from splitting the group. A child receives the first strip of meat. It's small, but it changes everything in a hungry season. After the work, injuries are checked, ice cuts, bruised ribs, rope burns, quiet pain that no song will mention. Walrus ivory is shaped into needles and toggles. A tusk becomes dozens of tools that will outlive the hunt. Inside the skin tent, the world turns warm and close. Lamp glow on faces, smoke in the rafters, hands always working. A stone oil lamp flickers, its moss wick burns steady, painting the hide walls amber while the storm rages outside. Outside, Wind tries to tear the tent loose. Guy lines hum. Snow piles against the walls like a slow, heavy tide. Inside, hands hover near a low fire, warming skin and bone. Breath fogs, then vanishes into the warm haze. Meat is sliced thin and hung to dry on driftwood racks. Portable food that won't rot when travel calls again. Blubber is sealed in hide bags. Fuel for lamps and emergency calories when storms pin them down for days. At last, they eat together. Broth, fat, meat, simple flavors, but each bite is safety, returning to the body. Stories begin immediately. Gestures of the charge, the slip, the crack. Warnings and pride braided into one memory. At night, the sea ice groans beyond the camp. A low sound like distant drums, reminding them the ground is temporary. By dawn, the storm eases. The sky lightens. Tracks are half buried. But the camp is still here, so the work continues. The coastline stretches endless, ice, dark water, tundra, and along it, life survives by reading patterns in chaos. Oil is poured into smaller containers. Each drop is stored heat, sunlight captured through an animal's fat. Sharing is the real technology here. Food moves hand to hand because one strong hunter cannot outlast one bad storm. Bone is ground into blades, awls, and scrapers. The walrus becomes an entire toolkit for clothing, shelter, and repair. Harpoon heads are checked and replaced. A dull point can mean a lost animal, and a lost animal can mean hunger. Back on the ice, only drag marks remain where the bull fell. Wind smooths the snow as if nothing happened. Far offshore, another walrus stands alone in the fog. The sea keeps offering the same dangerous bargain. Finished items are laid out. Dried meat, coiled rope, ivory needles, spare points, resources measured in days of warmth. A flame reflects in a hunter's eye. In a world of white and wind, that tiny light is almost unbelievable. An offering is placed quietly. Meat on ice, respect for the animal, and respect for forces larger than any person. Pressure ridges loom like frozen waves. They are beautiful, and they are warnings built by moving water. A lookout scans the horizon again. Weather is the true clock here, and it never stops counting. The lamp stays lit through the long evening. Proof the hunt became heat, and heat became time. Someone carries the lamp deeper into the tent. Light moves with them, turning shadows into safe, familiar shapes. Outside, pack ice drifts and rotates. Flows collide softly, and somewhere a lead opens, unseen in the dark. Harpoon points rest ready by the entrance, because tomorrow the ice may be safe, or it may be a trap. The camp looks small against the Bering Sea, but inside, it is an engine, food drying, oil cooling, tools being made. In the flames close up, you see the whole story: energy, patience, and danger made usable by human hands. Oil is stored, sealed, and guarded from spilling, because a single leak can mean darkness for a family. Families sleep close on fur bedding. Children's breaths sink in the warm air while wind scratches at the tent skin. Outside at night, the camp is one dim ember on an ocean of ice. The world is vast, and it does not care. By morning, yesterday's cracks may be sealed with new frost, or widened into open water by tides and wind. Clouds race over the coast. Light shifts quickly. In the Arctic, weather can turn in the time it takes to blink. On the horizon, another storm begins to build. Even success is temporary. The next test is already forming. The lamp burns low beside fur boots and tools. Small sounds, stitching, breathing, replace the violence of the hunt. Drying racks sway gently. Smoke rises thin and straight for a moment, as if the world is offering a pause. Before dawn, Hunters check lines, floats, and points again. Repetition is survival. Inspection is respect. Close on the ice surface, pressure lines like veins, frozen bubbles, fractures healed and waiting to reopen. Extreme wide, the pack drifts, almost imperceptibly, yet powerful enough to rearrange the entire coastline of ice. A lead opens with tinkling shards. Black water moves. The ocean never stops working under the white skin. Fog rolls in once more, swallowing the horizon, reminding them that the safest route can vanish without warning. Inside, a woman sews, hide by lamplight. Each stitch is a future. Warmer boots, tighter seams, fewer chances for frostbite. Quiet work fills the tent. No hero speeches, only hands, warmth, and the knowledge that survival is built, not won. A knot is tied, tightened, checked, and tied again. In this world, small failures grow teeth very quickly. At the ice edge, a hunter pauses and looks out. Step forward and risk everything. Step back and go hungry.
We remember the victory. But the ice remembers every step, and tomorrow it will ask the same price again.